2 months ago, I got hypnotized by a guy who hypnotizes 7, 8, 9-figure entrepreneurs. And I want to share with you just what that 2-month period has been like so that hopefully you can actually take some of what's happened to me and what I've experienced and just apply it to yourself. The backstory to that was that I, at that period, was in a place of quite critical of myself, actually, and feeling like I was a little bit lost in what I was trying to do. Everything felt uncertain and unclear, and just not the place that we want to exist in or operate from. And I'd been seeing this hypnotist online, Ibrahim, and I naturally was skeptical. I didn't really think that was for me, but I always have, I am also quite curious as well. I have an open mind, and I had one finger on that thread, and consume more of his content. Time went on. Then a friend of mine told me that he actually got hypnotized by him. He told me that it's just changed everything for him, and I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, I was like, "You're serious, yeah?" And so that just changed my likelihood of going ahead with it. And sure enough, I reached out to him. He told me the price. I was quite taken aback by the price. I was like, okay, right, that's a lot of money. And then the way I reconciled it to myself was what's my upside? If I invest that much money in the S&P 500, I might get 10% on it. Great. What do I get off that? What's my return off that? Really, if my mind is fundamentally changed, what can I do with that? How much can I earn off the back of this investment? And so that's at that moment I said, no, let's go. So I did it, and in the session it was only 90 minutes. And what we did was we unpacked a lot of what I felt was holding me back. Things that my self-talk, the way I criticize myself, judge myself, lack of compassion in areas, lack of gratitude, and really honed in on them and why they were there and where they stemmed from. And a lot of it was around lack of self-respect, lack of self-love, lack of empathy for myself, and coming from a place of lack, ultimately, and operating from that place that we don't want to operate from there. And in the session, we went down a rabbit hole into my subconscious of those areas and played out what my life would look like if I stayed like that and lived in the pain of being 80, 90 and knowing that I'd lived my life like that. And then we went over to the other side, which is the version of me who embodies the confidence that I know is inside me, who embodies the conviction that I have, who embodies the kindness, the compassion, and lives and exudes that and is that, because that's in me, and it's in you as well. We have all of these planes of existence inside us, right? And it really made me sit with that and play my life out as if I was that guy, that version of me. And what life would look like, thinking about okay, how do I act? How do I think in that version of me? How do I show up each day? What does my life look like? What does my bank account look like? What does my circle look like? How am I spending my days? How do I walk around? And really felt and connected with that. And it's so strange, because what happens in that moment is you actually physically feel like that person. And you are them, all in a moment. And you just, on a subconscious, physiological level, just enter what it feels like to be that person. And it's as if you are. And it was quite a transformative 90 minutes. That was it. It was just a 90-minute session. He sends me the recording after. And the purpose then is to listen to it every day. And so I listened to it every day for a few weeks. And each time it would just get embedded. And anyway, fast forward 2 months then, time has passed since then. It's not, what I've come to realize is one of the most interesting phenomenon in life is the law of compounding, right? And how things take long periods to actually manifest into the ROI that you get from them, let's say. And this is no different. This is what I'm bringing you to now, which is today. You know, on any given day, we don't really experience huge changes in any given day. Like a lot of change, whether it be financial, relationship, fitness, like they just take time to accumulate. And this is the same. Your mind, the changes in how you think and how you operate, how you walk around, and what that ripples out into the rest of your life. And just today, I was lying in bed this morning. It's Saturday morning. It's like 9 in the morning. And I was like, I'm actually going to stick on that hypnosis again. It's been a couple of months. And I put it on. All of the things that I walk through in there, I am now those things. I'm walking around with the confidence I wasn't walking around in. The way I'm speaking to myself is so kind, so compassionate, so full of belief and conviction in myself, so full of goodwill and gratitude. I'm just feeling so grateful for my entire life, my entire existence, my body, my functioning body. And this just compounds on itself. This is a never-ending snowball that just, the more it's such a woo-woo thing, I can't even believe I'm saying it, but the more I'm grateful, the more is coming to me. And it just makes me more grateful. And it's hard to quite put into words. And if you're like watching me thinking like, well, fuck off, you know, I fair, you know, but it is one of those things that needs to be experienced. Like what you need to do is ultimately, fundamentally, just change your thoughts. Like that is the ultimate thing that you need to do to change your life. And that sounds mad, because it is. Is it true? Yes. Like if you can start by literally change what you're saying to yourself every day and replace it with things that maybe you don't quite believe right now, because you're not going to just believe that you're worth X amount of money, or that you are able to achieve XY goal, or whatever it is your heart desires. But if you can just over time accumulate the damage of thinking those thoughts, the good thoughts, the empowering thoughts, the compassionate thoughts, the thoughts that the version of you who you want to be would think about that. The version who you want to be, what are they thinking? What does that person who you want to be, what do they think? That is a very powerful way to look at this. Because if you could just start to think that way and do so for a long time, your life is going to just naturally change around you. Reality will start to present you with just different things. And so that's what it's been kind of like for me since then. And listen to that hypnosis this morning, I started to feel very emotional in the middle of it, and just overcome with gratitude. Like that's all it is. Just overcame with gratitude. And it's funny, what was also present was guilt. Like I almost felt guilt for not loving myself so much up until now, and being as grateful as I could be up until now. And like, yes, it's easy to say being in Bali and so on, but this is applicable no matter what. Like I've just chosen to be grateful for what I have in my life. And that can apply whether it's, you know, you have £5 or £5 million. Naval says, if you can't be happy with a coffee, you won't be happy with a yacht. And I fucking love that phrase. I think it's perfect. So anyway, if you feel like you're not being who you want to be, just change how you think. Like, honestly, that is all there is to it. And that's been my experience with it, and I hope you can take something from that. Hope you can apply it to your own life and get what you want.